Hi there, my name is Kronenberg and welcome to my channel. This is another film review. This one is called Day of Reckoning. It's a horror. It came out in 2016. Amazon have a rating of 15. It's an hour and 25 minutes. Amazon rated is 3 out of 5. IMDb is 3.4 out of 10. And I'll read the IMDb synopsis because it's a bit more in depth. 15 years ago, evil creatures from the underworld plagued the earth with the intent of eliminating mankind. Dubbed the Day of Reckoning by survivors of the hellish Holocaust, warriors of mankind again must battle the forces of darkness. So the director is Joel Novia, I can say his name, Novoa, who also directed Arrow, which was a series. Producers, there's 3 of them. One was a line producers. I've only picked the 2 main producers. And I can't say his first name, Shaked, Shaked Bevinson, who produced Turbo Kid, and Patrick Ewald, Ewald, who produced The Golem. Music was by Emilio Cordera, Kauderer, who did the music for Secret in Their Eyes. Now the cast, we have Jackson Hurst, who was David, and he was in The Mist. Heather McComb, McComb, who was Laura, and she was in the series called The Event. J.J. Warren, who was Tyler, and he was in The Shed. Hannah Hayes, who was Maddie, who was in The Last of Us. Nick Gomez, who was Garrett, was in Fargo, the series. And Raymond J. Barry, who was Ted, and he was also in Training Day. It was filmed in Santa Clarita in California, in America. Just so you know, the image that you can see here, I suppose it's something similar to what they look like, so it isn't a typical kind of image that looks nothing like them, like I've seen so many these kind of films. So it starts off, there's literally no music at the beginning. It's so rare when you watch a film, you know, you have credits and all the intro and all that. You usually have music like kicking in, whatever kind of music, but there's no music at all. It's just completely quiet. But then we kind of cut to this building. We kind of don't know what it is. It's measuring deep down into the earth. It's going thousands of feet, right? And then this is literally the very first couple of seconds. You kind of then see what looks like bats coming out. It's like, what's that? But then that was like 15 years ago, so you kind of see what it is, and then it goes 15 years later, and you think, you see, it didn't mention that on Amazon, it does on IMDb, so there's good reason to read some of the things. Now, there's a teacher called Milton, who was Randy Vasquez, Vasquez. I didn't put him down in my thing because he didn't last very long. But Paul Milton, right, he's asked this teacher out, who turned out to be Heather McComb, who was Laura. And I don't understand completely what the Americans say, but they do. They say, can have a rain check. I think that means, because the weather's a bit shit. So he said, no, okay, great, I'll file it with the other checks. And I thought, been turned down a few times, have you there, Milton? So it also seems that every time an eclipse happens, they check loads of earth drilling things as a kind of like a drill. So they have the lunar eclipse goes off, and they all run around like nutters trying to test out the their response times. Obviously, this one isn't a drill because otherwise the film wouldn't have happened. But it is quite interesting how they're doing it. It's like, they have this this sign on all the on the walls, but you kind of learn this, and it says there are 3 signs of when they're gonna the Day of Reckoning. One is sea creatures all die, so they all see all the sea creatures dying on the news. They go, right, tick that off. Mass migration of birds. So they see all the mass migration of birds, and everyone starts crapping themselves. Like, oh my god, what's going on? Oh my, it's happening again, it's happening. And obviously, the eclipse they already know about is going to happen. So they know, they know the Day of Reckoning is that day. So the creatures actually look quite good. It's in obvious CGI. Now, I've seen some films with the low rating, and you look at them and you think, my God, I can tell they're not even there. Whereas these look very convincing. You know, you could say, well, they're not, but it's like, well, did they have the high budget like some of the other films that we see out there with all the top rated people? I don't know how much the budget was, it doesn't tell you. Now, interestingly enough, they all seem to be coming out of oil drilling places and oil refineries. So I can't think of a better reason to stop drilling for oil. Maybe we should just do this. Maybe we should just wait for some bats and some hellish creatures to come out of hell, and then we can all move off fossil fuels. Sorted. How hard can that be? Sure, we can do that. So there's bats. I say bats. I mean that's about as close as I can kind of image them in my head. And then there's these dog-like creatures. So if you think of like, if you ever see Lord of the Rings, and you see those orcs, they run on those dog creatures, the big like bear dog things. I don't know what they are. And they're running around in the fields and stuff like that. It's like that. But again, it looks like they're really there. Obviously, they're not there in Lord of the Rings. At least I'm assuming they're not. And it's like in this, but you watch them, it's fantastic. Now, I don't know what it is with films. I see this all the time, and it drives me mental. So we're in a bunker, right? There's no light. There's no windows, obviously, because they're hidden. And it's okay. Ted, who is Raymond J. Barry, says it's okay. There's a tunnel on the north side. So of course they all know which side the north side is and go there. I was like, well, how do you know which is north? You're in a dark tunnel, dark bunker. How the hell? I mean, I'm assuming it's a door, but it's still like it's on the north side. So off they go. I literally, if somebody just shoved me into a warehouse now and turned off all the lights and said go to the east side, I'd be like, I don't know where the hell that is. Where's that? Whereas in films they just know where the east side is. They just go there. I ain't got any quotes in this one, thank God. But you know, in a film when you think, really? Well, so it's a tense part. David is off to do something heroic. He may not make it back. So his ex-wife is Heather McCoon, is Laura. Says, hey, wait. Then they start to kiss, right? And this is when we all go, oh, come on, really? But then Ted just jumps up and says, is it really the time for that? And then they stop. I thought, yes, finally, if only they just stopped doing this. It's like, okay, we've got 2 seconds to do this in. Oh, let's just talk gently. I might not make it back. Oh, well. Here, let me give you a kiss to remember me. But I said, just get on with it. Just go. Could have killed him already. So, it was a good film. I actually enjoyed it. It kept me entertained. I mean, I was enjoying the whole thing. The special effects were kind of cool. There was no hammy acting. Well, I say no hammy acting. There was a bit where I think it was a woman called Stella in the film, Barbara Crampton, was doing this bit where she decided to sacrifice herself. And as usual, the dog creatures were running towards her. Speed of light. But don't worry, we spent about 5 minutes messing about with it, some sort of weapon or something. Nothing happening, yet the creatures are running. And 5 minutes of just, it's like, come on, they'd have killed you and all the others in the car. But anyway, so special effects were kind of cool. Like I say, no hammy acting, all good. I'll actually give it a 5, even a 5.5. I mean, people would say why, because it's not got any. Well, it has got people in the other films, but it's such a low-rated film. Why? It's because it's good. It's quite a decent film, especially when you realise that it happens any time a lunar eclipse happens. I'm assuming a lunar eclipse. It just said eclipse, but I'm assuming a lunar. So any time a lunar eclipse happens, this kicks in. So that's kind of crappy. It's just like, okay, we solved it. Oh, we've got another eclipse in a couple of weeks' time. Ah, sugars. So yeah, it's quite interesting. Quite interesting film. Anyway, hopefully you've enjoyed listening and watching this the film review of Day of Reckoning. Please subscribe my channel. I do have loads of other film reviews. My channel is mainly gaming, but I do venture out into films now and then. So horrors, I've done plenty of weird and wonderful ones, from the awesome ones to the what the heck have I just even watched in my hour and a half evening time films. Okay, well, thank you and goodbye.